presentation. You'll see most of them are a lot of fun, so please cheer for them. And if they're not that much fun, please cheer as well. It's not easy to come here and in 5 minutes make a pitch for your presentation. I'm going to call one by one, and basically I'm going to call Lou Gritzo first, who's going to talk about the future is not what it used to be. I think that has to do a little bit with climate change. And then Vika Bogart is going to talk about Game of Drones. Simon Sharp about science, politics, and what we value. David Nash about can flood resilience be measured. Joe Da Silva, back to the drawing board. Massimiliano Pittore, Rome was not built in one day, but the urban landscape is changing every day. And Abi Baka about big numbers. And really, I don't need this, so I'm going to throw it away. And I don't know what happened. Lou, please, the stage is yours. I think there's a microphone somewhere. Oh, you're all set. Perfect.
Thank you. The future. It's not what it used to be, right? It's a changing world, lots of uncertainty. We know a few things. We know it's going to affect us all. We know that sometimes we're a little bit on thin ice. So I'm Lou Gritzo. I'm in charge of research at FM Global. We're an engineering-based commercial industrial property insurance company. And we're going to talk about the economic risk of climate change, how climate change affects businesses and the people that work for them, and public well-being. We know the trends. Losses are increasing. 5 times the losses have gone over $250 billion in recent years. By 2050, the loss trends tell us we're going to see $1 trillion of property loss every year. And most of these, as shown in yellow, is uninsured. So insurance is not solely the answer. Nat Cats worldwide, in terms of billion-dollar events, the numbers are increasing. So it's not just the severity or the totals. Clearly, the numbers are increasing over time. We're seeing more events that are $1 billion. Why is this? Well, there's several reasons, some megatrends. First of all, there's more people living in coastal areas. We had about 7 billion people, about half the world's populations live in coastal areas now. Before it was as low as 1/3 or even less than that 50 years ago. What are they subjected to, right? Wind and water. If we take a look at my company's experience with hundreds of locations in Superstorm Sandy, 87% or 86% of those losses were water. This is a trend that's going to continue. We got cities in coastal locations, people living there. We're going to have more water where we don't want it, less where we do. What about businesses? Businesses are spread out all over the world. Globalization has occurred and continuing to happen. An event in one location can affect businesses and economies throughout the world now. That's a notable change. It's not going to decrease. Moreover, we have more people in urban locations, tightly packed together, businesses and people themselves. So one event now affects more business value and more people than ever before because there's more value populated in these tight areas. Right? So all this together means we have this brittle system of interdependencies of factors that relate to economic hazards for businesses and the cascading effects to all of us, our public well-being. So what do we do about it? First of all, we got to find out where the good areas are and improve them. FM Global commissioned a resilience index development. It's been released 2 weeks ago. It shows where the countries are that public policy, economic factors are more consistent for being highly resilient to businesses. And there's probably no surprise. Some of the ones at the top of the list make sense to you. Some of the ones at the bottom of the list make sense to you. So you can take a look at this. Businesses can take a look at this and make decisions about where resilience really can be improved. Hopefully it's going to be a driver for improvements in policy. The resilience really manifests itself of avoiding hazards in 3 ways, or 4 ways. Property value, business interruption, shareholder value, and reputation. This is the way economic factors play into these hazards and how losses manifest themselves. What's notable here is insurance only covers half of this. We can talk about the property value and the business interruption. We can't protect shareholder value. We can't protect the reputation of a business who no longer can employ people and keep people in those jobs. So insurance alone is not the answer. We can take a look at shareholder value and put some tangible numbers to it. Companies with good risk management, their stock volatility is 18% less. They outperform the market by a margin of 18%. Weak risk management companies underperform market. Okay? So there's no doubt, if you're a company, if you're resilient, you're in business. you're in business for yourself, your shareholders, your reputation's good, your people are working, the economy's good, the community in which you're living is good. It's all good, right? So what are we going to talk about in this session? Well, first of all, we need to nail some key things about hazards, how natural hazards are changing due to the climate, right? That's the big underlying factor that's going to drive us in the future. The hazards change, policy has to change. We have to keep up with that with resilience activities. A lot of progress has been made in reducing our uncertainty and improving our knowledge on natural hazards and climate change. The International Panel for Climate Change has just released their reports this year. The National Climate Assessment's out. For the first time, they're focusing on vulnerability improvements and characterizing uncertainty. This is great. What we're going to do in this session is build upon that. We're going to talk about what we know, what the uncertainty is, what we don't know, and what we can do about it. So those are the 4 things you can expect from this panel. We've got a great, diverse set of perspectives. Tim Palmer's a physicist, going to talk about the physics. Peter Webster is a geophysicist, going to talk about geophysics in heavily affected areas. Then we're going to move towards the more economic focus. We're going to have Roger Pelkey, the author of the book The Climate Fix, come in and talk about climate change and public policy. And then we're going to end up with Jeremy Oppenheim from McKinsey, the leader of the New Climate Economy Project, and he's going to focus on economics, which is his area of expertise. So we're going to go from the physics to economics. I hope you'll join us Wednesday, 9 o'clock in the morning, first thing, we're all awake. And remember, the future's not what it used to be. Mark it on your brochure.